Uganda is investigating allegations of widespread fraud in its refugee aid program, a government official said Monday, as the UN also raised concerns over human trafficking in Ugandan camps. Musa Echweru, Uganda's Minister of State for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, said the police is looking into allegations of mismanagement of funds and other resources meant for refugees. Aid workers have long suspected Uganda of inflating refugee numbers in order to attract more aid, which is then siphoned off by corrupt officials. Uganda has been widely praised for its progressive refugee policy. It claims to house 1.4 million refugees, a million of whom have fled the ongoing civil war in South Sudan. Faster growth in mining, natural gas production and construction activities propelled Tanzania's economy higher in the third quarter of 2017, according to the statistics agency. East Africa's third largest economy grew 6.8% year-on-year in the third quarter, compared with 6.2% in the same quarter in 2016. Diamond mining and natural gas production were responsible for Dar es Salaam's good growth numbers. The World Bank cut its forecast for Tanzania's full-year GDP growth in November to 6.6% versus the government's revised growth target of 7.0% due to slowdowns in public spending and growth of credit to the private sector. Tanzania's annual GDP growth rate averaged 7 over the past 5 years, making it one of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world. Rwanda police has arrested 14 people in a crackdown on illicit alcohol. Security operations conducted in Gisagara and Huye districts also demobilized 14 illegal breweries that were distilling illicit brew, locally known as Moriture. At least 3,320 liters were seized in Mukindo sector of Gisagara district alone. Late last year, Rwanda National Police and Rwanda Standards Agency began operations against illegal distilleries, with at least 80 of them closed for either operating illegally or contrary to the set standards. South Sudan has blasted the US after President Donald Trump imposed an arms embargo against Juba last week, saying America was not its partner. South Sudan's first Vice President Taban Deng said Juba considers Beijing and Moscow as more reliable partners than Washington. The United States banned the export of weapons and defense services to South Sudan in a reflection of its growing frustration over the newest nation's bitter conflict. US Ambassador Nikki Haley said recently Washington was giving up on President Kiir after investing over $11 billion since the country's independence in 2011, calling him an unfit partner in the pursuit of peace. South Sudan has since recalled its ambassador to Washington. 2 Kenyan TV stations have resumed broadcasting after being taken off the air for plans to show a rally held by the country's opposition leader. The NTV and KTN channels were both accessible on Monday, but 2 others, Citizen TV and Inoro TV, remained blocked, according to Kenya's Daily Nation newspaper. Earlier in the day, protesters took to the streets in Kenya's capital Nairobi to condemn the media shutdown. The government suspended all 4 stations on January 30th after the announced plans to air the symbolic swearing-in of opposition leader Raila Odinga, which took place later the same day. Burundian President Pierre Nkurunziza on Monday called for more cohesion among its Burundians to boost their well-being at celebrations of the 27th anniversary of the adoption of the Unity Charter. Nkurunziza made the call in Gitega town, Gitega province in central Burundi. Burundian citizens adopted the Unity Charter with 89% in a referendum on February 5, 1991, when the 3 ethnic groups, the Hutus, Tutsi and Twa, accepted to live in harmony. Despite the adoption of the Unity Charter, one of the biggest crises broke out in 1993 with the assassination of the first democratically elected Hutu president Melchior Ndadaye, which sparked deadly violence between the Hutu and Tutsi groups and a massive forced exile.